Alright, man. I'm no scientist, but I do have a master's in bro science. And I tell you what, man. I've got theories about the no-hangs, right? Now, again, this all started with freaking Emil Abrahamson talking about doing the low intensity hangs, keeping your feet on the ground every 6 hours or twice a day or something, and how he got results from that, and how we kind of had this idea from some a single study that had nothing to do with climbing. It was really all just immense bro science. Not exactly sound. Now, me having some experience studying exercise science in a educational institution, not just reading fucking random articles online, I saw that and I was like, there's probably a few things happening there. He is a pro climber who is obsessed with his craft. The low intensity is probably giving him good active recovery from all the intense sessions that he's probably doing on a near daily basis, if not multiple times per day. So what we could be seeing is actual active recovery helping him recover and therefore recuperate from his overtraining. The other was, looking at kind of the study he was pointing at and thinking, well, there's some, scientific basis of collagen synthesis and how that works, and how, just loading the joints and tendons and stuff will help freaking synthesize collagen in those joints and tendons, and therefore make them a little stiffer, a little more tougher, a little more resilient. Kind of makes sense, but again, if you're doing it at low intensities, when you're already used to very high intensities, I don't really see how that would help that much, other than just providing a placebo effect, which is a huge thing, guys. The power of the mind. The placebo effect is huge. There's literal studies out there, multiple studies, of people being given anabolic steroids and having a placebo control group, and the placebo group, who think they're on steroids, have near similar results, you know what I mean, compared to the actual steroid group. It's fucking crazy, So there's something to say about the placebo effect and the power of the freaking mind and suggestion, Now, when I saw this, I was like, this is a good idea, but here's why I thought it was a good idea to do. A, the collagen synthesis aspect, and B, the isometric exercise aspect. Okay? If you look into isometric exercises, if you're climbing, you're always hanging on your freaking fingers, and there's almost always an eccentric contraction in the freaking fingers and forearms and stuff, because you're just hanging, so you're kind of stretching under load. That's the eccentric, muscle contractions. And with the eccentric work comes a lot of soreness, a lot of damage, a lot of stuff you have to recover from. Try like shopping a spider web. So, if you do a lot of isometric work, in addition to all the eccentric contractions you get from climbing in general, it will help, take those stretched freaking muscles and tendons and squeeze them together again, so to speak. And that can be good for recovery and resilience, right? The other thing about isometrics, it's really good for the nervous system, okay? If you're really trying hard, I think it's starting to rain again. Maybe a little drizzle from the wind and the trees. Anyway, if you're really trying hard, pulling isometrically with your fingers and your shoulders and stuff, you'll be able to recruit more and more of your nervous system, more of your muscles. You'll be able to contract your entire body into that action of pulling with the fingertips better and better and better over time, okay? And you'll maximize just like pure nervous system recruitment and strength. At the end of the day, it's kind of what strength is, just nervous system. You know what I mean? Just freaking using your freaking brain and all this stuff to will yourself into like, freaking hard effort. You know? And the more force you can produce through your fingertips and through all of your body from your fingertips, the stronger you're going to be in climbing, you know? Especially, think about this, if you keep your feet on the freaking ground, now the force is going through your fingertips into your freaking toes, which is exactly what you do when you climb, okay? That's basically like core strength when you're climbing that everybody's talking about. It's like producing force from here to freaking here, you know what I mean? And when I started doing the no hangs, that's pretty much what I was focusing on. It's not only just producing force here, but also through the freaking ground. And I'll get to the point where I'll basically be on like the tips of my big toes to make it feel similar to climbing, okay? And you'll see me, I'll even like, you know, I'll even like lever myself. And I'll get to the point where even like my toes might curl under me, but I'm still in contact with the freaking ground. Even sometimes like almost like stretching my body too, you know what I mean? Like my legs are friggin' straight, my hips are locked out. Everything from like head to toe is straight and like driving into the ground while I'm freaking levering myself. It's very similar to the CTI exercise in calisthenics where you're, it's called close to impossible is the CTI. Where you're essentially like doing a pull down, like a straight arm pull down, while trying to keep your body as like vertical as possible. Okay, which is impossible to be fully vertical because of, you know, fucking physics and shit and how gravity works, but you know, the more you'll probably be more like that. But that's why it's close to impossible. Anyway, rambling. What the fuck am I talking about here? Point is, that's the feeling I'm trying to get, right? I'm trying to get this freaking head to toe, maximum like shoulder recruitment, fingers, you know what I mean, lats freaking popping out like a cobra. This is going off the rails. But that's why I started doing the no hangs, okay? The hangs, they're not really hangs, they're more like pulls to me while keeping my feet on the ground. And I'll do them in many ways. I've just recently started doing them in a Tabata, right? So that's the famous kind of high-intensity cardio-style training of 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, times 8. That 20 seconds on being like very high intensity, right? Now, I'll be using these hangboards outside when I can. Of course, it's been raining lately, so I've been using the inside ones, but these are really good. They're at a nice height for what I try to do. Let me show you real quick. I have many types. I got the 14, they're all separated, you know, the same distance. I got the 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, and the rulers are somewhere between like 2 and 3 millimeters. Now what's cool about this is that's 7 different sizes, so if I'm doing 8 rounds, I'll go back to the 14 at the end, and after pulling on those tiny little holds, you know what I mean, like 2 millimeters or whatever the rulers are, when I get back to 14, I feel super strong. My nervous system's primed, pulling something tiny. So when I get back to something big, I'm just like, woo, you know what I mean? I'm like floating almost. So that's a fun little exercise, and it's good for endurance and everything I've already mentioned that isometrics do. Okay. Now with that one, that's obviously high intensity. I wouldn't do that more than maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a week maximum. The thing is, again, with the isometrics, there's no stretching the fingers or even anything in the body under load, really. You're just pulling yourself concentrically a tiny bit, and everything's isometric here. Okay, if anything, there might be a tiny bit of the concentric contraction, but it's not going to do any serious damage you'll have to freaking recover from. Okay, and if anything, it can be utilized as active recovery. You just might be a little tired in your nervous system after something like that because it's high intensity, so I wouldn't do that, let's say in the morning one day, then climb, you know, 6 hours later or something. I'd be pretty much done. But on days I'm not climbing, I'll definitely do it to bottom, and it feels fantastic when I go back to freaking climbing the next day. I feel strong as fuck. Okay, so that's how I've been using them. That's how I think they should be used. If I'm not doing it Tabata, I'll just do maybe a couple of rounds, okay, or I'll just do it throughout the day without even worrying about time intervals or anything, or sets or reps or anything. And just to get, again, a little bit of nervous system recruitment, kind of remind my body what it feels like to put force into my fingers, you know, irradiate throughout my body, you know, into my toes, you know what I mean? And just keep on freaking growing that mind-muscle connection. And that's where the strength comes from. That's where the freaking therapeutic aspect comes from. So about just like familiarizing yourself with that kind of force application over time, and in a way that's fucking easy, you know, in a way that's not at all damaging. That's going to be very therapeutic, very useful, especially for home training, on active recovery days, on maybe like, you know, a morning before you go climb or something, or at night the day before you go climb in the morning, you know, just to kind of, again, do all that shit I said, freaking apply force, radiate throughout the body, you know what I mean, get a little blood circulation pumping in those relevant areas, and yeah, build toughness and resilience. And you know, once your toughness goes up and climbing, the more force you'll be able to apply. You know, so if you get used to freaking applying force to, you know, 2-3 millimeters, which hurts the first few times you do it, once you adapt to that, anything above like 10 millimeters feels like a joke. You know, it feels comfortable. So that's the idea. That's how I use them. That's how I think they should be used. Look into like overcoming isometrics. That's pretty much what I've been doing, you know. The freaking unstoppable force meeting the immovable object kind of feel. You don't have to go as hard as hell every time. In fact, you shouldn't. But you should go pretty hard. Otherwise, I think it's pretty much useless. You know? Don't do these low intensities only. You know, you gotta put the high intensity in there. That's the whole point of isometrics, is high intensity. It's a nervous system recruitment. Low intensity is bullshit. You know? It's all placebo effect. If you believe in it, maybe it's useful. Maybe that's why Emil got so much progress from that, but otherwise, I don't know. It's unscientific in my opinion. Anyway. Peace. Let me add one more thing, guys. I'm always coming back for a few more words. A few hundred more words. You know, again, freaking talk enough. who should be doing these isometrics? You know? Am I trying to say everybody should do freaking isometrics? No, I don't think so. Everybody could do them. I'm not sure everybody should do them. Here's the thing. It's more work to do the freaking no-hangs every day compared to just doing some, once or twice a week, hangboard pull-ups or hangs with weight on you or something. You'll have to recover from those, therefore you can't do them that often, but I think it's literally just as useful to train that kind of thing once or twice a week than it is to train no-hangs, freaking, 10 times a week or something. Sometimes I do these twice a day, The results are similar, but what's dissimilar is the stress you put on your body. Again, I'm getting older, guys. I've felt the aging process for the first time in a long time this past year, which I think is part of the reason why my progress wasn't great. It was a little bit stagnant. It's like a little bit of progress, but for the most part pretty stagnant past year, I think, because I'm aging and I'm learning. I'm having to train a little differently than I used to make similar progress. So for people like me that have trouble with recovery due to aging or some kind of, conditions, maybe isometrics are the thing to do, The only thing you'll be damaging, I put that in quotes, is your nervous system. You might get some nervous system fatigue, but I don't know, in my experience, the fatigue from isometrics is very minimal, which is why I can do them every day, or even twice a day, or even 3 times a day I've done before. The thing is, again, if you're climbing a lot, you're putting a lot of stress on your body, you're damaging yourself, you're having to recover from that. But if you're doing isometrics as your supplemental training method, there's not much damage being done at all. And it's super easy to recover from. And, I think the older I get, the more isometrics I'll be doing, I think. I think when I'm freaking 70 years old, 80 years old, if I get that far, God willing, I'll probably be doing a shit ton of isometrics. I'll be doing fucking horse stances, all that kind of shit. Pretty much everything I do will probably be isometrics and going for walks at that point in my life. But I'll probably still be making huge strength gains, I'll be doing no hangs for sure forever, I think. So think about that, man. Think about your rate of recovery. And also think about, again, climbing so much, hanging so much weight off your fingers, stretching under load. Think about those isometrics tightening you back up. Okay? Very therapeutic. So, I'll end it there. I think I've freaking talked enough about this. Not much else to say. But I've been enjoying them. I've probably made more gains from those, including those back in my routine in the past month, than I have in the past 6 months of just regular ass dynamic, concentric and eccentric freaking work. And part of that may just be because I'm getting older and isometrics I can recover from. Recovery, rest, is where you make the gains, guys. The training is merely the stimulus. Okay? Rest is what's up. That's where the good shit comes from. That allows you to freaking recuperate. Allows your body to overcompensate, get stronger, be prepared for something more difficult in the future. So, on that note, I might do some fucking no-hangs. So I gotta go inside because it's wet as shit up here. Probably gotta spray these damn hangboards with vinegar or something because I see mold growing on them. Fucking gross. Anyway, y'all take care. Keep training. No matter what age you are, No matter what's going on, remember Isometrics. We're always there for you. Peace.